Hail and well met, travelers. SGBU, what's happening? What's going on, everybody? Out there in the world. I've been laid low by a dark curse, a foul sickness put on me by a evil succubus. But I am recovering, and adventure waits for no one, so gather around the fire and let's talk about and play Heroes of the Lance. Published by SSI and developed, I think, by US Gold. I couldn't find accurate information on that. I think it was developed by US Gold and published by SSI. SSI, pretty well known for doing the gold box RPGs. I've never played an SSI game before, but I do know of their gold box games. And I've always wanted to get in on some of their games. They look really good. So Heroes of the Lance, but before we talk about the game, let me take a second to introduce you to the Heroes of the Lance. This is them in the background, from right to left. It's Tika Whalen, the barmaid. Behind her is Lorana, the elven maiden. There's Sturm Brightblade, the Knight of Solamnia, stoic knight. And then you have Riverwind, the barbarian. Goldmoon, his wife, there with the lute. Behind her is Tasselhoff Burfoot, the Kender, I think they're called. They're kind of like hobbits. There's always got to be a hobbit around, right? Behind him is Flint Fireforge, the dwarf, his good friend. Then you have the leader of the group there, Tanis Half-Elven with the beard and the bandana. And beside him is Caramon and Raceland, the brothers, which I may be talking a little bit more about the two of them when we get into the game, because Caramon I find to be the most compelling character in the whole book series. I actually read Dragonlance, the first trilogy anyways, Chronicles, Dragonlance Chronicles. I read that for the first time last year, and yeah, it was pretty good. Dragonlance created and written by Tracy Hickman, and his wife helped come up with it as well. I guess they came up with it while they were driving to a job offer. Tracy Hickman got a job offer by TSR. TSR, Gary Gygax's company, the original producers of Dungeons and Dragons. TSR. What does TSR even stand for? It was like tactical studies. I don't know, tactical studies role playing or something like that. Weird name, but yeah, Tracy Hickman got a job offer from them, and as he was driving out for that job offer, him and his wife kind of came up with this idea of this world kind of ruled by dragons, and hashed it out on that drive, and then pitched it, and it ended up turning into Dragonlance, kind of the first big campaign setting darling for Dungeons and Dragons. Dragonlance was like the super big popular. Dream of Moo, thank you very much for the subscription. Yes, I still live. No foul black magics or blades can harm me. We're here talking about Dragonlance. We're going to be playing a Dragonlance game today. Heroes of the Lance. I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, you'll have to forgive me. I'm still a little muddle-headed and maybe a little croaky, but yes, we must play game. Yeah, so as I was saying, Dragonlance was the big campaign setting for Dungeons and Dragons there for a while. Basically, the really popular one through the 80s, and then it kind of turned into Forgotten Realms there more in the 90s. But yeah, Heroes of the Lance, that's what we're going to be playing, with that fantastic cover art there from Jeff Easley. I think that's Jeff Easley who did the artwork. Interestingly, that cover art is from a completely different book. It is from a Dragonlance book, but not anything detailing the story that this game is going to be talking about. The game is actually kind of details the first book in the first Dragonlance trilogy, Dragons of Autumn Twilight. And let me just move this over here, and I'll show you guys the artwork for the book there. That's the cover art by Larry Elmore for Dragons of Autumn Twilight. Obviously, they had the rights to be able to use the Dragonlance artwork from Dungeons and Dragons for the front cover of the game. I'm kind of confused why they didn't choose the cover art from the book, and they used something completely different. But yes, sick band promo photo. Well, that's the cool thing about the Dragonlance novels. They all have covers like that. They kind of showcase the different characters. That's Tanis, Gold Moon, and Stern Brightblade right there, with an evil dragon behind. So like the original concept of the Dragonlance modules was a world controlled by dragons, and then Gary Gygax was like, yo, why don't we turn it into like a 12 module thing, and each module can detail a particular dragon. So there was like a heavy dragon focus with Dragonlance, in the sense that like each one was supposed to be like the first module is a red dragon, the second one's like a black dragon, that kind of shit. And I think a common misconception about the whole thing is that the books came before the modules, but that's actually not the case at all. The modules were developed first before the books, at least like a few of them anyways. And when I was reading the books, that was a very, very strange thing. There's often moments in the book where they reference something like, remember when we went into the evil frost caves and we fought the Witch King and we got the dragon orb? Remember that? And I'm like, did I miss a book here or something? What the hell are you people talking about? But what they're doing is they were referencing modules. They never like that. They never wrote about in the actual novels. It was completely strange thing. But yes, a lot of really, really good artwork attached to Dragonlance. Larry Elmore was actually part of the Dragonlance project. He also did the artwork of the companions there in the background. The Companions, that's what the team is called. The Companions, not the Fellowship, the Companions, the 9 Companions. And Larry Elmore was like attached to the project, so he was actually involved in the creation of the world to a certain extent anyways. I think he basically kind of came up with the designs of the characters. But yeah, there lots of really, really good artwork. Another like this is the front cover for the module that this video game is going to be trying to simulate. Again, like why they didn't pick one of these more relevant pieces of art for the front cover of the book, who knows? Or the front cover of the game. But yeah, this is Clyde Caldwell, I guess, and a funny sort of anecdote about this artwork. You see Goldmoon there. She's got her bare barbarian legs there. And I guess Margaret Wise, the other author of Dragonlance. Dragonlance was written by Tracy Hickman and Margaret Wise. Margaret Wise was actually like the author. Tracy Hickman was just kind of like the ideas guy, from my understanding. But Margaret Wise saw this piece of artwork and she's like, oh God, no, Goldmoon with her exposed legs. She would never do that. So you see all these other artworks like the one I had before there up with, done by Larry Elmore. Goldmoon has pants. This is the only, this is the only artwork you'll see with Goldmoon pantless, which is very appropriate for a barbarian, which Goldmoon is, but you know. Yeah, you got Clyde Caldwell was involved though, and then you also had Keith Parkinson. Keith Parkinson might be actually like my favorite out of the bunch. His let's get this cover art out of the way here for a second. This just fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic composition. The detail is incredible. These are Draconians, the main villains of the whole story, and Draconians are kind of like the evil foot soldiers of the dark god Takesis, who's like an evil dark dragon. Parkinson did some other really amazing ones. We've got this cool like Death Knight. This is another character later from the stories. Cool Death Knight with his charging skeleton army. And also another favorite, Parkinson piece of art there. Amazing stuff. Look at this. It just really brings you into the world of adventure. Like, so much of my love of fantasy really started from just, you know, staring at artwork like this and just really imagining and feeling the world that all this comes from. But yeah, what else we got here? Caramon the Gladiator. Look at this one. Minotaur. You see Caramon. A lot of these Larry Elmores, it's kind of hard to find high-res artwork, Larry Elmore art online that doesn't have his watermark there. You can kind of see his signature as a watermark over the image, but that's fine if that's what the artist wants. He wants his signature on there so people know. That's fine with me. But don't worry, Larry, I won't let anyone forget how awesome of an artist you are. Yeah. Great artwork. Fantasy artwork. Awesome shit. So, Heroes of the Lance. That's what we're going to be playing. Bork, what's happening? I am playing Heroes of the Lance. We're going to be playing the Amiga version of Heroes of the Lance, which is it's the version that has the superior graphics. This game's kind of got a bad reputation a little bit, I think. I've heard a lot of people, mostly when they're referencing the NES version of the game. But yeah, it seems like popular opinion of Heroes of the Lance is fairly low, but from what I've seen of it, it looks really amazing. Big sprites, it's like an action game, it's not an RPG. It's kind of a dungeon crawler action game. Big sprites, detail, action, battle combat, everything I enjoy. We're going to start the DOS version of this game tonight. Awesome. Well, you know, here you get a little bit of pre-game or something. Anyways, maybe some of you would be interested to actually see what a Dragonlance module looks like very briefly. Some of you have maybe never even seen what a Dungeons & Dragons module looks like, but this is the first one, Dragons of Despair, with that Clyde Caldwell artwork I was talking about. Hail, Foamed! Welcome. Welcome, fellow Nile lover, Foamed. What's going on? Yeah, so these are always pretty meaty, these RPG books. For a while there, I was just collecting them. I don't play these games, but I really enjoy the books. There's lots of cool shit in it, lots of cool artwork, and it's just kind of fun to flip through a lot of these. I'll probably never play any of these games, but what ho, perchance! What ho! Hail and well met. Art is so sick. Completely agree. You got this. Look at this unicorn. Dragonlance is super hardcore high fantasy, like obviously coming from D&D, but yeah, it's like fucking flying Pegasus, unicorns, fireballs, dragons. Like they don't mess around in this stuff. They don't care about realism or keeping it down to earth at all. So the way these kind of like modules and stuff usually go, you got these boxed areas where you read out to your players, and then you've got kind of these areas that the dungeon master needs to read to himself, and monster stats and things like that. Usually all of these different encounters and whatnot are detailing, like, what if your players go left, what if they go right, what if they go in this room, what if they don't, those kind of things. We'll be seeing this in the actual game. This picture here is the entrance of Zaxxaroth, the dungeon that we're going to be entering, and so I believe there's a image in the game that's quite similar to this picture when we start. Look at that cool black dragon coming out of the well there. Black dragon. I wonder if we'll be fighting a black dragon in this game. Who knows? I feel like I'm gonna have a leg up in this game, having read the novels and actually like knowing sort of what happens in the dungeon of Zaxxaroth. We've got the character stats there. We'll look at that later. The manual for the game is pretty cool. There's a song. There's a song in this module. I think there's a poem as well. It's all very Tolkien-esque for sure. Kind of a little bit derivative, but like the poems and things are definitely not to Tolkien standard, but gotta love the world building. Look at look at this guy. Those are gully dwarves. They're kind of like dumb dwarves, basically. Idiotic dwarves. They don't have the skills or the intelligence of your regular mountain dwarves or hill dwarves. All sorts of monsters there, and then poem, yeah, some kind of poem prophecy or something like that. And all of these hex maps. Very cool stuff. Dragonlance also got a cartoon, an animated movie there a few years back. I don't know, like 10 years or something like that ago. Some age ago, there was a Dragonlance cartoon. Here it is right here. The quality is not good. The artwork is fine, but the animation quality is really, really low. But the voice acting is there, actually. They've got some good voice acting, and they actually brought in some actors for it. Kiefer Sutherland does Raceland, and I think his voice actually does pretty well. Let's take just like a peek at this. This is the intro of the animated movie for the first Dragonlance novel, Dragons of Autumn Twilight. Stock for Woodard, good day. Good day to you. Big Red. He got lanced, yeah. Willy the Worm. Oh yeah, Lucy Lawless does a voice in this as well. Xena. Oh, the evil dragon army sweeping across the land. So this is like the setup for the story. The dragon armies are already, working hard at subjugating the different cities and countries of the land in which Dragonlance takes place in. All of our companions, the 9 companions, they come from this nice sort of idyllic forest town called Solus. And they all grew up together. At some point in time, they decided they were going to separate and go on their own separate adventures, but then they would meet up after an appointed time. They would meet up again in Solus at this inn that they frequented. This is Tico Whalen there, one of the companions.
With all these goblins around, I'm afraid this
Wizards. All right, there you go. There's the cartoon. Let's take a look at the manual here quickly for Heroes of the Lance before we get into the game. This manual is pretty neat actually because, well, they give you the background and lore and everything, which is always nice. But I mean, I very much enjoy sort of lore and things. They always get me a lot more invested into the game I'm playing and the world and stuff. But I'll be giving you guys the rundown, as we go through. I'm fairly familiar with all this, having read the novels, like I say. But what I think is really cool about and kind of strange about this manual is that they have these great biographies and Larry Elmore artwork for the characters, and then they actually have their like D&D stats and even their alignment and armor class and starting equipment. None of this means anything in the game that we're going to be playing. The game we're playing is like an action game. We don't gain levels. Our experiences actually score. But let's. I want to introduce you guys to these characters, so I'll be reading these biographies. We've got Tanis Half-Elven. He's the leader of the group. Orphaned by the death of his elven mother, Tanthulus, better known by the shorter human form of his name as Tanis, was raised among the elves. However, as a half-human, Tanis always felt somewhat of an outcast. Finally driven by his restless nature, he left the Qualinesti and headed for Solus, and the only outsider known to him, his friend Flint. By the time he became involved with the companions, other than Goldmoon and Riverwind, he had become an experienced half-elven fighter, wandering the world of Krynn in search of true healing clerics. Yes, there's no clerics in the world of Dragonlance. Clerics are a D&D class, and they removed them from the world of Dragonlance in the campaign and the modules and all of that. There's no clerics allowed. That's a really big part of the story, is that they're trying to find clerics, trying to find people that have that holy healing abilities, the good gods and the good magical energies. It's only evil energy, evil magic out there in the world. A natural leader, he has known, traveled with, and fought beside the companions for many years. Although none of them knew it at the time of their meeting became the start of their joint quest and the formation of the Companions of the Lance. His travels, though through an unsettled world, combined with his early training amongst the Qualinesti elves, have turned him into a master swordsman, equipped with his elven blade. There are few fighters skilled enough to match him in combat. Of course, an enemy has to reach him first because his natural skill, augmented by plenty of practice with the bow, will usually stop all but the most determined opposition before it comes within reach of his sword arm. Again, the good Larry Elmore artwork there. Tanis, neutral good. Leather armor +2, long sword +2. That actually plays into the game a little bit. is the +2 weapons. I think whenever a weapon in Dungeons and Dragons has like a plus on it, it's considered like a magical weapon. And there are creatures in this game that we're going to be playing, Heroes of the Lands. There are creatures that are immune to regular damage. They need to be attacked by magical swords. So then we have Caramon, the most compelling character in the story, as far as I'm concerned. The twin brother of Raceland, Caramon can be considered a complete opposite to his brother. From early childhood, Caramon made himself the protector of his weaker brother, rescuing him time and time again from bullying tormentors. His training as a warrior while a young child was started by his sister Kitiara, who later became a dragon high lord in the service of Takesis. Inseparable from his brother, except when Raceland was being schooled in the magic arts. Caramon lived all of his life in Solus. Here he met Sturm, but it wasn't until their father's death that the twins met up with Tasselhoff, and, through his meeting, another of Solus's long-term inhabitants, Flint Fireforge. This is the start of the friendships which led to the formation of the Companions of the Lance. Although a well-trained warrior by this time, Caramon was relatively inexperienced in combat, and it was his travels with his newly acquired friends, later to include Tanis, that turned him into a seasoned warrior. Traveling the countryside with Raceland was always an exciting adventure. One of his brother's greatest joys was exposing false clerics as fraudulent charlatans, making money at the expense of the sick and helpless. Usually, rather than being grateful, the people would turn on the twins, who often only escaped serious harm as a result of Caramon's increasing martial skills. It took a long time for them to realize that people don't like being shown as fools, even for their own good. After some years of travel with Flint, both on trading expeditions and on their own, they all met up again at the inn in Solus on that fateful night where they met Riverwind and Goldmoon. The rest is history, as they say, and in this adventure, the conclusion is up to you. So Caramon's the bruiser of the whole group. He's a barbarian, basically. There's barbarians in the group, but they're like less of a barbarian than Caramon. Dungeons and Dragons was pretty funky with strength stat. When rolled on an 18, you would then roll a percentile and get an even higher level of strength. So 18/63 is a brick shithouse. Caramon is lawful good, unlike Tanis, neutral good. Caramon wants to abide by the law. He wants to be a good man and do what he can to help people. Caramon does not have a plus on his longsword, and I'm sure that will come into play as we play the game. He's only got a spear here, a longsword and a spear, but in the books, Caramon is actually like just covered in weapons. He's got like a short sword, long sword, broadsword, two-handed sword, axe, double axe, throwing axe, short bow, spear. He's just covered in weapons. And his armor is very like ramshackle and sort of pieced together from all the battles he won. Oh, maybe I'll take this shoulder pad. Maybe I'll take this leg brace from this guy. So it's all kind of mismatched and cool. And we have his brother Raceland here. Raceland, a very, 1800. Hell yeah. Davy, what's happening? Good to see you, man. Welcome. Yeah, Caramon is like Conan if Conan was a super protective older brother. He has definitely a different personality than Conan, but he's definitely has the fortitude and strength of Conan. So we've got Raceland here. So weak was he. Raceland also a very compelling character. He's an interesting wizard for sure, as he's been strucken by a sickness, much like myself, only from birth. But yes, Raceland, so weak was he, so weak when he was born. Holy shit, can I rewind? So weak when he was born that he wasn't expected to live. Raceland survived his childhood through his sister's efforts and through the protection of his twin brother. Just before their 5th birthday, they were taken to a fair where a conjurer was performing tricks and illusions. Caramon watched for a while, then wandered off, but his brother stayed all day, and that evening astonished his family by reproducing every trick he'd seen performed. Shortly after his 6th birthday, the family took Raceland to a master mage who, although at first not overly impressed by the boy, took him as a pupil after he was found in the mage's library reading a spell book, thought to be impossible without years of study. Never popular and often bored, his studies continued despite his contempt for both fellow students and instructors. This period reinforced Caramon's protective attitudes towards his brother, providing the root for Raceland's general dislike of humanity at large, together with a deep and lasting sympathy for the weak. During this period, Raceland supplemented the family's income by public performances of illusions and tricks, which often brought him into open conflict with his school. One of these public disagreements led to the twins meeting Tasselhoff and subsequently Flint. Raceland was destined to become the youngest mage to take and pass the test, which confirmed his future power and gained him his staff, while leaving him a physical wreck. He's got the very legendary Staff of the Magus. And doesn't even have an 18 in intelligence. What's going on? Plus, he's so, like, sickly. He's got a 10 in strength and a 10 in constitution. I think that's supposed to be average. You'd think that he would be below average in both those stats. Then we have Sturm Brightblade. Look at the mustache on Sturm. That's actually a hallmark of the Knights of Solamnia, is the wispy, long, handlebarred mustache. Something every good stoic knight should have. The son of one of the remaining true Knights of Solamnia, Sturm was sent south with his mother for safety when his father could no longer guarantee the security of their home. His father was to have sent for them when things calmed down. He never did. At this time, the knights were looked down upon by the general population of Krynn, as they were unjustly blamed for their failing in the duties of their duties and not stopping the cataclysm. Conscious of his father's position and duties, Sturm dedicated his life to the knighthood and became a well-trained but inexperienced fighter by the time he met Caramon. Drawn together by their mutual martial interests, they quickly became fast friends, and for Caramon's sake, he even somewhat befriended Raceland. He holds the high ideals of his father and the knights, despite the difficulty of maintaining them in the current state of the world. His rescue of Raceland's master's pouch caused their first meeting with Tasselhoff and their subsequent fellowship with Flint and Tanis. Flint taught Sturm and Caramon the wilderness survival skills that were to save their lives many times in the future. Their journeys with Flint over the next few years formed them into the formidable group of adventurers who now bear the survival of Krynn upon their shoulders. Finally, in the year 346, with Flint's retirement, the companions went their separate ways. Sturm went to Solamnia in search for his heritage, but they all had agreed to meet at the Inn of the Last Home in 5 years' time. Having gained his inheritance by this time, Sturm was equipped as a Knight of Solamnia, and his meeting marked the start of the quest when they rescued Goldmoon and Riverwind. He's got his father's sword, a gigantic two-handed sword, and a good sturdy strength stat constitution. Noble knight Sturm. Goldmoon, the barbarian beauty, daughter of the chieftain of the Quayshu tribe. Goldmoon's future was mapped out from birth, as whoever she married would become chieftain of the tribe. Unknown to everyone, the gods had different plans for her. The first inklings that none of this would come to pass came when she fell in love with Riverwind rather than the supposed best warrior of the suitable young men. When Riverwind returned from his quest to prove himself eligible for Goldmoon, things really changed. The staff that he returned with didn't appear to do anything, and her father condemned him to death. As the rest of the tribes started to stone him to death, I forgot about that, Goldmoon threw herself into his arms as she realized that she couldn't live without him. Suddenly, the staff flared with a brilliant blue light, and they found themselves standing miles away from the village, with all their injuries healed. Rejected by their tribe, and realizing that the staff was something special, they decided to go to Solus and ask the Seekers for their help in discovering the staff's true nature. The Seekers were the nearest thing to clerics in Solus, but were also indirectly acting for Tachisus to recover the staff. Before Goldmoon and Riverwind could hand the staff over, they became involved in a fight at the inn and were rescued by the other companions. So begins the story of the Heroes of the Lance, which leads to your task among the ruins of Zaxxaroth. Yes, this staff that Goldmoon got is pretty much like the anchor to the beginning of the whole story. It's like, the catalyst, I should say, of everything. We've got Riverwind here, good barbarian design. He's got the bandana, he's got the hair. Riverwind. Born into a family of virtual tribal outcasts, there was no one in the Quayshu with lower social position than Riverwind. Riverwind's family refused to believe in the divinity of the tribal chieftain and were the last believers in the old gods. Tolerated for his skills, Riverwind would probably have been left alone to live his life were it not for his love of Goldmoon, which led him to ask her father for permission to marry her. Her father gave him a task to prove his suitability for this marriage. He ordered Riverwind to search for proof that the old gods still existed and not return without a powerful magic item to convince the tribe. In reality, her father never expected to see him again. As months passed, it seemed as though his wishes would be fulfilled, but Goldmoon never gave up hope, and her faith was eventually rewarded. The Riverwind that returned wasn't the same man that left. He was harder, changed by things he had seen, and unable to remember exactly where he had been or what he had done. Later, when the companions had formed and made their way to Zaxxaroth, he realized that the ruined city was the place from which he had retrieved the staff. In his hand, he carried a blue crystal staff, but when asked to demonstrate its powers, he was unable to do so. The chieftain mocked him, called him a liar, and ordered the tribe to stone him to death. When Goldmoon joined him in the hail of stones, the staff flared with blue light and teleported them both out of the tribal village. Yeah, Riverwind. Cool barbarian, but actually out of all of these guys, he's probably takes the back seat as far as like page time in the books. He's always there and doing stuff, but he's just kind of a grim, stoic guy. Good guy, but just he doesn't talk much and doesn't really have a lot of character. He certainly doesn't have the fire and the lust for battle in life that your typical fantasy barbarian might have. He's much more reserved. We've got Tasselhoff, the Hobbit. Tasselhoff, he's a Kender, and Kender, they're kind of like the hobbits of Dragonlance. They're more like proportionate than a hobbit. Hobbits have the big feet and the big belly and all that kind of stuff. Kender just kind of look like little people. They're quite a bit different than hobbits, though, as well, because they're kind of like megalomaniacs. They can't help themselves. They don't really mean to steal, but just they kind of grab other people's shit and put it in their pouch, and it just sort of finds their way into their pocket. Somebody's gold ring or something like that might just, all of a sudden find its way into a Kender's pocket. And they use these weird staffs, these hoops that are kind of like lacrosse sticks or something like that. They hurl stones and shit. Most people don't know. Most people not only don't understand Kender, but don't want to know them. Part of the problem arises from their basic personality traits: fearlessness, unbelievable curiosity, irresistible mobility, independence, and the need to pick up anything not screwed down, unless they have a screwdriver, in which case. The usual reaction to the sight of a Kender is to lock everything up and check your pockets. Although fully justified, this attitude is somewhat unfair because they do not see themselves as thieves. They don't steal for profit, but out of their intense curiosity about everything. Even when caught in the act, they will offer amazing range of excuses from "you dropped it" to "it probably fell into my pocket" to "I thought you didn't want it and I was just looking after it in case it got stolen." As far as they're concerned, it's only borrowing, and they regard being called a thief as a grave insult. Apart from their size, Kender would easily be recognized by the number of pockets and pouches that festoon their clothing, and their favored weapon, the hoopak, used exclusively by them. It is a combination of a staff, shod in iron, and a slingshot, giving Kender a lethally potent weapon. Tasselhoff met Flint through the normal actions of a Kender, absolute amazement at being accused of stealing a bracelet as he walked off with it from Flint's stall. Tanis arrived to calm the situation, and it wasn't long before they were fast friends. Tass was later responsible for the meeting with Caramon, Raceland, and Sturm. And then you've got the Rock, the last one too. The Rock, Flint Fireforge. Flint is like the mentor of all of these people, basically. Flint Fireforge, born and bred a hill dwarf and raised in poverty, Flint left home as soon as he was capable of earning a living. As the years passed and his skills as a metalsmith grew, his improved fortunes led him to buy a small house in Solus, which became his base. From here he traveled wildly due to great demand for his skills. As his fame spread, samples of his work came to the attention of the elven leader in Qualinasti, resulting in his first invitation to become one of the few dwarves not only to visit the elven kingdom, but to become a welcomed visitor. Flint delighted in making ingenious toys, which made him a children's favorite wherever he worked, including amongst the elves. It was here that Flint and Tanis first met, and over many years became close friends, for Flint was a solitary figure, and Tanis always felt an outcast due to his human blood. When Tanis finally left Qualinasti, his natural destination was his old friend Flint, whom he joined in Solus. He soon made himself very useful to Flint, who made Tanis his business partner. One day, while Tanis was breakfasting at the inn, Tass arrived at Flint's stall and set in motion the events that quickly led to the meeting of all those destined to become the companions of the Lance, when they rescued Goldmoon and Riverwind from the Seekers. In the period leading to this rescue, the world became more perilous as the evil of Takasis gained a stronger grip on Krynn. Flint retired as it was no longer worth traveling, and the friends went their separate ways, with a promise to meet again after 5 years had passed. This fateful meeting brought them together with Goldmoon and Riverwind, setting in motion the train of events that brought you to the start of the quest. There we go. Everybody talked about you've met all of the members of the companions now, and our story is set. The stage is set for Heroes of the Lance. We've got a little bit of extra stuff here, just talking about different creatures we're going to come across while we play the game. Wraiths, hatchling black dragons. Kisanth is the black dragon guarding our objective, the Discs of Mishakal. And definitely a formidable foe. Many things to find: scrolls, swords, potions. I believe all of them just add to score. Let's play the game. Game time. Do 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 do. Yeah, the mages wore color-coded robes for their alignment. I think it's black and red, and I can't remember the other ones. Raceland has red robes, I think, because he's like neutral. All right. Playing the superior Amiga version of the game. There's actually a PC 98 version of the game as well. A lot of these SSI Dungeons and Dragons games got Japanese releases, but the PC 98 version is largely the same as the Amiga version. A little bit worse sound, I think. Heroes of the Lance. There we go. All right, we've started the timer. Let's kill this fantastic music. And begin our adventure into Zaxxaroth. Pretty sure it has joystick support, so I'm going to be using my arcade stick. Yes! The Songs of Adventure. Maybe this is Gold Moon's song. Maybe this is what Gold Moon's song sounds like. Oh, there we go. Gold Moon. We got character bios here as well. Human cleric, daughter of the Quayshu chieftain. She is betrothed to Riverwind. Gold Moon carries the blue crystal staff. Its full powers yet to be unknown, but only available to her. Sturm, the son of a knight of Solomnia. Sturm Brightblade is a human fighter. Pretty good artwork there for them. It's obviously it's the Larry Elmore artwork, but just put into the game. Looks pretty nice. Caramon! Trained as a warrior, Caramon Majeri gained the experience to make him a mighty warrior. We got Raceland, the enigmatic wizard. Got Tanis, of course, Tanis. He's got the beard because he's a half-elf. So his human side, I suppose, gives him the ability for beard. That's what your human side does for you. It gives you beard. But he wears the beard to kind of, and the long hair to kind of hide his elvish side. Elves not often well liked by the rest of the world because they're snooty assholes. Tasselhoff. Riverwind the Barbarian. Flint Fireforge. And here we go. We enter. Prepare to enter. Oh, here's our score. Richard J. Lilly. He's who we're aiming at. 55,000. We'll see if we can get 56,000 or more. Okay. Never played this game before, so let's take a minute here to get my skills good, joysticks working and everything. Okay, that's to get into the menu. That's select. Ooh, what am I doing there? Is this a pit? We have a pit here. And some foul draconians on the other side. No in-game music. That's just fine with me. There we go. So we have our 8. We have 8 of the 9 companions. Tika Whalen doesn't join up until later on. She's left in the tavern, back in Solus. But yeah, we've got Gold Moon in the front there. Sturm, Caramon, Raceland. And then a bottom row, Tanis, Tasselhoff, Riverwind, and Flint there. Kind of a little hard to make out the portraits. So hero select, and then we go like this. We can move our guys around. Okay, gotcha. Understand that. Clerical staff spells. So I don't know how this magic exactly works, but in Dungeons and Dragons, I think it's like you basically store your spells. It's not like a magic point system like it usually is in Japanese RPGs. It's you like store your spells. So you're like, oh, I've got 3 uses of charm and 4 uses of magic missile or something like that. So we'll see if that's the way it is in the game. Maybe I should magic missile these guys across the pit. Use items, take, give, drop, save, gain, restore. Let's just save right now. We'll save it and maybe restore. Just make sure that it works. Okay, looks like saving is working. And maybe let's try to launch a magic missile. Or I suppose I probably have to put Raceland in the front for that, eh? No! No, it just works. Bitch ass Draconians. Getting magic missile. Look at that. So I wonder if that means we can use the clerical spells without Gold Moon being in the front as well. I should move her back. Oh, it's skeletonized. Oh, oh, what? What was that? Oh, is that trying to like simulate the certain draconians? Like draconians, some of them turn to stone when they die, and they capture your weapons, and others like explode. Maybe that's what that was supposed to be. Oh God, we're already wounded. We've already taken a wound. Can we load up multiple magic missiles? I just did 2. No, it just does 1. Very good. I saw a gem across the way there. We'll have to explore. I don't know. I don't know if we'll need to be mapping this or not. It is a dungeon that we're going to be going through, but yeah. I didn't really think about that. Maybe we might have to get a piece of paper and map some of this out. Ah! Another draconian. What can I do? I should probably move Goldmoon back, is what I should do. What other spells do we got? We could charm them. I don't know if we could... I don't know how good charm would work on a draconian. I'm not quite sure about that. Let's try putting them to sleep. Ah! It didn't work. It missed. All right, Sturm, you're up. How do we... Okay, we attack like that. Kind of typical for an Amiga game. You hold down the action button and press a direction. That's interesting, though. You can't swing when there's not an enemy around, but you do get this kind of cool, like, sheathing animation. Look at Sturm. Sturm, the stoic knight, with his... You can see his mustache on the sprite. These sprites are awesome. Very good size on the sprites. Well done. Let's over this way. Ah! A brigand. Ooh! No! Traps! Traps. Of course. Traps in a dungeon. Must be wary for traps. You had the disc collection of Might and Magic where the discs flip out of the paper sleeves and went up to 7. I always really hated those kind of compilation. Oh, I ran. Ah, diagonal up gets you running. And oh, action makes you jump. Okay. I always really hated those kind of compilations that used the sleeves for your discs because they just scratched the hell out of your discs. Combat. So the screen sort of scrolls to the side there when we get an enemy. Gully dwarf. Take out the gully dwarf. Sturm would... What the... Sturm, take out the gully dwarf, man. Oh! Did a little back step there. Okay, let's go this way. Gotta be careful not to step on any more traps. What? Caramon? Get him, Caramon. Oh! Caramon able to defeat gully dwarves. Sturm... Gully dwarves are invincible against Sturm, I guess. I don't know. I just threw the spear. Take. All right. And as far as traps goes, perhaps we should have Tasselhoff in the front while we walk. He's kind of the thief. Maybe he can detect traps or something. Is there a skill for that? Is there a spell for that? Detect invisible. Detect magic. Maybe detect invisible will expose the traps. No, but it did expose this blade here. Oh, Tasselhoff locates and removes a trap. That's awesome. So he's not here for fighting, but we can use him to be cautious for traps. That's good. And I will take this, whatever this is. A hunting knife. Yeah. Awesome. Caramon. Well done. I've already taken these injuries, though. That's unfortunate. Tasselhoff. Back in the front. Tasselhoff locates and removes a trap. I should have tried just running and then see if he still disables the trap while I'm running, or if we have to walk. It would make sense that if you have to walk, because he's, you know, if you just run, you might just stumble into the trap before you get a chance to see. Oh. What's with the gully dwarves being immune to people's attacks? Oh, you gotta aim down. Come on, Tasselhoff. You can take out one gully dwarf. Oh. Apparently not. Alright, Flint. He's the same size. Maybe Flint will be in charge for destroying gully dwarves. Kind of annoying how they move into you there. Yo, Flipsider, what's happening, man? An invisible hunting knife. The treasures. What other treasures await us in Zaxroth? Oh, maybe we should be moving with Tasselhoff to protect us from the traps. It's kind of annoying, like, switching the characters over and over again, though. Let me just save it. Let me save it. Die! Awesome. The manual did mention he had a throwing axe. He's small. He's a powerful, strong dwarf, but he's small. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want him fighting up against, like, man-sized creatures. They can hit him before he gets a chance to... Well, it's easy to throw that spear by mistake. I don't know if that's actually like a button input or if it's just what happens when you attack and you attack at a distance, or there's no enemy around. You just throw your spear. Caramon definitely doing his part here. So far has been the most successful fighter. Eat a spear. Good. Alright. Let's gather this spear and this this is why you walk with the Kender. Perilous. Perilous adventure. Okay. Take spear. Take green potion. Whatever that does. And, yes, we need to grab Flint's axe. Move back and grab this axe here. Okay, can I go into any of these doors? Alright, not that one. Not that one. Maybe this one here with the more detailed arch. Oh, shit. Oh, critical hit. Hope everybody's getting comfy for a nice cozy stream of dungeon crawling and adventure. Ugh. Ugh. Nope. Oh. Dastards. Good lord. I wonder if it would have been better if I just stood my ground and fought. Ah! Danger! No! Oh my god. Let's try putting him to sleep. We have failed our quest. I guess that sleep spell went through. Oh! Yeah, fair enough. They explode. Okay, so that's like, that's the game, trying to do the whole some Draconians explode, some turn to stone thing. I think we do have a raise dead spell. I know we've got heals. Yeah, we've got raise dead, but this is so early. Let's just reload it. Let's just go back and reload. And we'll attempt this again. Gonna duck in here right now. Haha! Okay, switch him out for Caramon. Attack the guard. Ah! Throwing the goddamn spear. Dr. Dragonsmoke, what's happening? Good to see you. For the poll, what's happening? -1 constitution for everyone. Oh, wait. There was a trap here, wasn't there? Or was that in the other screen? Oh, no, this was where the magic Draconian was. Caution. One must exercise caution when delving into the dungeons. Tasselhoff will take this gem. That makes sense. Ooh, that looks horrifying. Okay, we need a warrior. So we'll get Caramon up there because he seems to be able to defeat Gully Dwarves. He seems to be able to fight everything, but his lack of magic sword definitely will if we come across like wraiths or ghosts or what have you, we'll have to make sure to sub Caramon out, but he seems to be good up against just about everything else. So we'll do that, and then I'll try to get that sleep spell in. He's got lots of life as well, so he should be able to weather these first couple of magic spells I'm going to eat in my face here. Might even be able to... Oh! We put the guard there to sleep. The human walked in front of the Draconian. We put him to sleep, and I'm pretty sure the Draconian was launching his spells into the back of his head. Maybe he did our job for us. Ooh! Okay. Alright. We're safe. For now. Who knows how long that sleep spell lasts. No available items. What about this big spear right here on the ground? Yeah! Leap into battle! Very touchy. Oh no! The explosion! I forgot about the explosion. We need to put somebody with life in the front line. Is there a way I can duck? Okay, we can duck. If I hold the action button down and I press down, we can duck. That's what we'll need to do. After defeating those magic spell-casting Draconians. I'll just get Tasselhoff to grab everything. Seems reasonable. And we'll put the Barbarian in the front. So everybody's getting a little weak now. We might have to heal here soon. Get a save in as well. The adventure continues. Look at Riverwind sprite. Riverwind sprite's awesome. Riverwind can attack gully dwarves as well. Either this is a same looking hallway, or this is where we started. I guess if I go down, we'll know. Yeah, this is back at the beginning. So we did a loop. Not mapping just yet. We might have to map eventually, but luckily I have an excellent sense of direction. Stands no chance as he turns to stone. It's a good thing the game didn't try to simulate how the Draconians turning to stone often sealed the companions' weapons in the Draconians' bodies. It's a good thing they didn't try to simulate that. Just attack these guys and lose our longsword +2. Which reminds me about that hunting knife. Maybe we should see if I can equip that. I mean, surely it's not as good as a longsword, but it will kind of reaffirm my my guess that that we can't equip things and that all items are just picked up for score. I could give the hunting knife. Doesn't seem like there's any way I can use it or equip it, so there's our answer. Identify. True. What would that be? Maybe detect magic? No. Yeah, I think they're probably just score. Got another gem here for Tasselhoff. And we'll keep Riverwind in the front for now. He's got full life, and he's a powerful warrior with a magic sword. Oh! What did I need to do? Okay, yes. Sleep. Sleep. This seems to work well. Oh, not good. I should probably try ducking, right? Maybe if we use Flint, he's short. Ha-ha! Yes! Using the dwarf's natural shortness to my advantage. I should keep him on because this guy's going to explode. Ugh. Took a small wound there. Everyone's getting deeply injured. Raceland almost dead. He seems to be taking... I think everybody takes a little bit of damage. Maybe not from melee strikes, but maybe the magic affects everyone. Get our Kender to pick up the gem, and maybe leave him in the front for now as well, just so we can have a heads up on any traps. Oh. An army of gully dwarves. Okay, if we hold that... Whoa! No! No! Raceland went down. Raceland died. Look at this asshole. Oh! What have I done? Oh, no. Oh, I think because I exited the room that Raceland was dead in, can we not bring him back to life now? I didn't even mean to do that. That's it. He's dead. Gone for good. Well, honestly, we probably saved ourselves a lot of trouble in the long run, in the grand scheme of things, with Raceland dying. He does get up to all sorts of trouble. Let's just restore the game. It's just before I entered into that room anyways. Yes. That gully dwarf was obviously older and wiser than the others. Ah, look at this. Yes, I believe I remember this from the novel, the first novel, when they go to Zaxxaroth. I think they get into some kind of giant cauldron and then use it to, use it like an elevator to go down to the next level. Oh, shit. Ah! I've thrown my hand axe to the wind. Damn. Damn! We're good. We still got it now, right? Yes, hand axe right there. Okay, got this room here, and then down here is where we came in. What's over this way? Dead end. There was another path down as well, wasn't there? I'll check one ahead here, but if it looks like it's going to go on for a while, then we'll... Damn. I might need to get some healing down on these characters. Unfortunate walking right into that. Let's do Cure Light Wounds on Raceland. He's the only one really giving me problems right now. I want to try to save the spells as much as I can, though, because I'm not really quite sure how they work. And if it works like Dungeons and Dragons, then we will have finite number of uses of each of those spells. Though Cure Light Wounds is such a weak spell, I imagine we have plenty of those. Yeah, let's get Tanis up there. He's doing all right. Whoa! Tanis is doing all right no longer. Peril. Peril and danger around every corner. That's fine. We're just getting used to things here. Yes. All right. Well, so if I walk forward, then I don't get hit by the trap. I brought Tasselhoff in first because I wanted to disarm that trap that killed Tanis. But if we walk forward, it doesn't seem to trigger the trap. So, in fact, this is back. This is going back, isn't it? This is the potion I picked up earlier, and then that trap fell on Caramon. Death. Full party wipe. It's funny, it's got northwest, east, south there. We've got a compass. 0 experience points. Oh, sorry, total points is 0. Game points, 1,335. We failed in our quest for the discs of Mishikal. 0. 0 experience. I guess we got 0 experience because everybody died. All right. So we move forward with Tanis after going through this door. Then we fight this guy. Get a little bit more distance. Turn. Battle. Oh, well struck. One hit with Riverwind. I think there are dice rolls going on in this game behind the scenes, though. There does seem to be critical hits. There seems to be times when I hit an enemy for one or two hits to take him out, and then other times when one is just fine. Tasselhoff locates and removes the trap.
All manner of pleasures and diversions were indulged. Wealth can be wonderful.
What is best in life? Macaw Conan.
Macaw Conan, that's what's best in life. MP, what's going on, buddy? Welcome. Welcome in. Thank you very much for the 100 bits. I hope you're doing well. I am still sick, but adventure waits for no one. Weakened is my party. Put Flint in front. Yes, this is Heroes of the Lance. It got ported to, like, so many things. There's DOS, there's NES, there's Amiga, there's even PC-98. But as I was saying earlier, the PC-98 version doesn't offer anything over the Amiga version. However, this is actually a 3-part series. It's Heroes of the Lance, Dragons of Flame, and then Here's the Lance, Dragons of Flame, and the last one is Shadow Sorcerer or something, which looks very strange. But Dragons of Flame is very different on the PC-98. Dragons of Flame also has a PC-98 version, and this is back at the beginning. Okay, this is totally where I was before. Just watch them repeat backgrounds, though, and then I'm going to get completely confused. Dragons of Flame is completely different on PC-98 compared to the Amiga or DOS versions of the game. I was looking into that, and the PC-98 version of Dragons of Flame looks very, very good. So maybe we'll get around to that as well. Now, that was a dead end that way, so we'll go down. And then I guess we'll just move forward. We'll move forward, forward into the darkness, forward through peril, forward! Statue. Actually, he has life right now, and I need distance from this warrior. So I will take the hit with flint, and we'll go this way. Oh god. Riverwind, it's up to you. Battle Fury. No! No. Oh, wow. The trap placement is cruel. It's just cruel. It knows when I wonder if the enemy placement is random or if it's yeah. We're good. I wonder if the enemy placement is random or if they have proper placement, in which case the traps are particularly cruel. The game knows that you're going to be cornered by two enemies there, and then they put a trap in between. Really, if I just have a warrior up front, I should be fine. There's enough room there. We can get the first strike. Oh! He was powerful. I'm just saving like a madman. Shalrai, what's happening? Gold Moon is dead. No longer, though. We can't let our fair barbarian maiden be injured. So I don't think that we can move into... I don't think there's screen transitions at the edge of the screen. I think we can only move through doors. Yeah. Zero Dine, what's happening? Welcome. Yes, absolutely, Bork. I agree. I was eyeballing that. Of course, I looked at all three of the games. And the Dragons of Flame on the Amiga also looks good. Ooh, it's the spellcaster type draconian. We'll go Flint first because he's... I've sent the sleep spell out already, and we'll switch to Flint because he's short, and maybe he'll just naturally dodge the spells. But the Amiga DOS versions of Dragons of Flame also look good, but they have definitely a different visual style to it. The PC 98 version seemed to whoa! That was lucky. The PC 98 version of Dragons of Flame seemed to go back to this style, which is kind of interesting. Well, what do we have here? Long swords. As I mentioned earlier in the books, Caramon is covered in all sorts of weapons, so we'll get him to pick up weapons. Even in an action game, there's role-playing to be found. Blasted traps. Alright, we have a path there. I did just save it, right? we're gonna have to camp, so to speak, here soon, and heal up all of my characters. So it was a dead end that way, and we have a door here, and then we have a door on the right. A gold plate. Have we already found the discs of Mishigal? Likely not. Gold bar. Always a good find. You know it's bad when Tasselhoff has the most health in the party. Yes, I'm sure the discs of Mishakal would make fine dining. What am I doing? Just standing there. I keep forgetting that there's an actual duck button. Or not a button, but we can duck if I hold the action button and press down. We need it for when those guys explode. A scroll? We should give those to Raceland. Raceland. We haven't seen Raceland sprite yet. Look at him. Oh! Raceland's jump is a hover. Magic jump. Okay, where to now? My impeccable sense of direction tells me we've already gone everywhere. Going backwards will only lead us to rooms we've already been. And it doesn't look like these are pathways. They're all caved in. Oh, bloody... Flint, destroyer of gully dwarves. So maybe we do have to use that pot. Maybe we do have to use that pot to get down. Like in the book. Ah, very true, yes. There could be something with that. Jeez. If you can enter foreground with all of these passes and they take me to a different place, then there is a lot more to explore. Let's try it here. So up here took us to the pot, to the elevator. So I just press down and it takes us to the same place. Maybe we can get to the other side with Raceland. some sort of lever over there or something that we can activate this with. He can't run because he's so weak. Almost. So close. What am I doing? What happened? I held down the action button and pressed a direction like I was attacking, but now it's giving me this. Oh. So for the magic users, whatever spell I have set gets keyed to their attack button. So if I have Cure Light Wounds set like I currently do, then, you know, you can just do it like that instead of going into the menu. Maybe Caramon can figure this out. Press up, down. No. Whoops. Throw the Kender in next. When they fall down the pit, too, there's no ability to resurrect. They're just dead. Oh, when it highlights the direction. With the I see that now. I see that. I was completely ignoring the compass, but yes. Yeah, so up is west currently, and it's highlighted. It's got the red box around it. All right. So that gives us an idea when we've got multiple paths to take, but that says it has multiple paths up and down, but they both go to the same place. Very, very confusing. It's like north and south both take you to the same spot. And this is the same. What is this on the wall here? Like, I don't even know what that's supposed to be, but I haven't seen... Is it just like a design on the wall? It says west. It's got the highlight there. Okay. Whoa! Flint. Oh, shit. We hear alarm bells ringing in the distance. They know we're here. They're on to us. This is no longer a covert mission. Throw axe. Throw spear. Very weird looking tunnel there. Very strange looking chute. The way it looked on the wall, I wasn't really quite sure what that even was. Ugh! Death to all gully dwarves. I don't think gully dwarves are inherently evil or anything. I think they're just easily manipulated. They've brokered some deal with the dragon Kisanth and the Draconians that are dwelling down here. Okay, we're about to go through a door, so I should have a warrior up front. I guess I'll just stick with Flint for now. Oh, look at this. That's a cool animation. We're not on screen, though. Like, we can't do anything. Oh, the waterfall cures your wounds. Look at that. Hell yeah. Our party was much beleaguered, but now strength fully restored. Well, it doesn't do anything. Or at least it doesn't do anything while we're full life. Maybe if we come back and we're further injured, we can do that to save some of our spells here. What's that using? Right underneath the hit points. 8 out of 8 using. Is that seriously how many charges of spells they have? That's not very many. Alright, Caramon, you're back in there. Let's reorganize our party here a little bit. Gold Moon, you go back here. And, Flint. Flint, I think, actually always brings up the rear in the books. And he wants to be as far away from Tasselhoff as possible because though they are best of friends, he's kind of a curmudgeonly old dude. And he likes to pretend that Tasselhoff rubs him the wrong way. No rep, what's happening? That was really cool waterfall. Chillin' chum, what's happening? I'm doing well. Doing well. Recovering from being sick since like January 1st. This stream was supposed to happen a long time ago. Is this where we came from? I think that's where we came from. Ugh. It's just so easy to toss that spear by mistake. Got gems and potions galore. Cannot carry any more items. Alright, we're going to have to give some of this stuff away then. We'll give a blue potion. Makes sense to give potions and scrolls to the magic user, right? Ooh, Tasselhoff can no longer carry any more gems. His pockets are full. No available items. I'm standing right on top of my spear. So we've always got to keep one slot free for Caramon so he can pick up his spear. And we have a shield. Again, unequipable. Oh. How odd. When we tried to use the hunting knife, actually, it's not even an option there for use, but there is an option to use the shield, though it didn't seem to necessarily do anything, and it's still in my inventory. I wonder what that's all about. See, the Amiga is spreading. The power of Amiga spreads. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Amiga. I've probably played and streamed more Amiga games on here than any other system, actually. And my experience with Amiga was nil before streaming, but I've become a very big fan of the Amiga. I've realized that many of the games from the late 80s and early 90s, the Amiga versions are far superior graphically and audio and all of that. Ah! Needless damage. These blasted traps, but who wants to keep the Kender in the front? Not I. Caramon, mighty warrior. One spear throw is all it takes. What? I thought that was a dead end. I was about to turn around and then... Damn it, Caramon. Who has the agility to clear this, this pit here? This pit spewing magical energy. Surely Raceland with his floating jump, but we'll go Tanis because Tanis is a light-footed elf, but also a strong warrior. Go Tanis! Ugh! Go Tanis! No, stop! Ah! Tragedy is struck in the companions. Amiga has the most barbarian games, and therefore it is the most powerful and bestest computer gaming system ever. Wherever I can satisfy my need for adventure and bloodthirsty battle, endless carnage and ceaseless waves of enemies. Enemies! I need more enemies. Bah. It's very strange because you can throw those projectiles downwards, but I think to activate the projectiles you have to press up. Alright, let's try this again, Tanis. Tanis! Tanis! Haha! Scully Dwarf won't even know what hit him. But... there we go. The hitboxes are so fucked in this game. We want Caramon so he can pick up his spear. And it looks like we have treasure. Treasure. Flint would appreciate the craftsmanship of a fine golden chalice. And we move on. Very straightforward dungeon so far. No messing around or maze-like areas. Let me just duck these spells. I'm gonna take one. He got the sleep spell, and we run in for the kill. No, that was that was too far. God damn it! Ah! How quickly things go south. Caramon was in good shape, too. I'll just restore it. It was that close. Well done, Caramon. 2 foes. Two foes meet their hands. Meet their hands? Meet their end at the hands of Caramon. I'm still I'm still a little woozy, I guess. Oh. This could be one of those enemies that Caramon can't fight with his lack of magical weapon. Yes, he can't do any damage to them. He got hurt in trying, but it's good to know these things. Riverwind, well done. Let's see where this goes. It goes back here. Okay, so both of those doors just teleport you here to this other area. That's a pretty cool effect. Save the game. Score! What's our score at? $2,655 experience for killing monsters so far. Oh, look at this. Some lost soul. Surely crying out, wailing for its loved ones. You should have died. Oh! What is this? We'll go dwarf. Dwarf, which is with his natural ability to dodge projectiles. Oh. So we got a path there. Ooh, a new enemy type, giant spider. Giant exploding spider. Alright, that is a job for Riverwind. Barbarian. This powerful barbarian headband that you can see right there on his sprite. On his hyper details. Whoa! Oh, that must be the black dragon hatchling we briefly read about in the instruction manual. We must put it to sleep. Ah! Immune. Can we charm it? Not good. Ah, charming didn't work. Oh, Riverwind. He's just running it down. We'll leave the job to Sturm, stoic, noble Sturm. Surely he can defeat a dragon. I walked on him. Die. All right. Okay. Okay. I guess I found the sweet spot. Bowing to the evil beast. Where is the hitbox is the question. Step forward a little bit. Oh! On the back leg. Of course. Dragon's weak spot. Oh, boy. Took some serious damage there. Alright. We're resorting to spells. And wizards have low hit points, so Cure Light Wounds should heal up quite a bit. Alright, let's leave it at that. Hopefully that didn't take up too much of our magic. Unless I've been wrong-headed about this the whole time and we have infinite magic. I would be surprised if that was the case, though. At the same time, that said, you know, her clerical spells, they're different than regular, right? Because there are no clerics in Dragonlance. They've all been forgotten about. The old gods are forgotten. The way typically clerical magic works in Dungeons and Dragons is that you worship a god, and that god gives you power to be able to heal and do all of those kind of things. And the old gods are long forgotten in the world of Dragonlance. Nobody believes in them anymore, so there's no clerical power. However, Goldmoon, well, actually it was Riverwind, he found the blue crystal staff, which was imbued with the power of one of the old gods, strongest of the gods of light, Palandine. And this, or was it Mishakal or something? I don't know. It's been a year since I read the books, but yes, the crystal staff basically is a holy, godly weapon, so it could have an inexhaustible amount of healing powers. All right, we've got some items there on the wall for us to grab. And a couple of magical magical enemies here to defeat. Which are quite easy, it seems, but I'm sure it wouldn't be easy if I had Caramon in the front. They probably do a shitload of damage to you. And if you're not able to wound them, I imagine that they'll just destroy you. The companions are too clever for that, though. We know that we need magical weapons to defeat magical creatures. So we have a door here. Let's see what's on the other side. Yeah, she's getting her powers from the staff. She's not actually a cleric herself, though she does become one. And the Discs of Mishakal, what the Discs of Mishakal are, that's our main objective here. The Discs of Mishakal are, they're these metal discs that have all these runic writing around them, and it's basically tales of legend and recipes for good smoked meats. Oh, Jesus. Web? Maybe web. Or maybe I have to be Raceland and then aim the spell at the dragon. That could be it as well. Oh, blast. Oh, damn it! Having that spider there was the worst. Let's see if we can recover this. Just take out the dragon first. And then turn around. Get him, Sturm. Ah. Well, I could just raise dead, but the save was moments back, and I would have done it if it was just Riverwind that went down, but with Sturm, let's save as much of that magic as we can, assuming that it's finite. But yes, the Discs of Mishakal are basically supposed to allow clerics to exist again. Like, you'd read the Discs of Mishakal, and you would then believe in Mishakal enough that you could then summon up on the spells. So thus Gold Moon reads the discs after acquiring them and becomes a cleric of Mishakal. And there's another character as well, Elistan, who Gold Moon shows the discs to, and he becomes a cleric. Okay. Let's try this with the web. Aim down. Switch, because we don't want Raceland to get eaten. And we go Sturm, because he's sturdy. Aha! We've webbed the dragon. There's our dragon tactics. And Sturm can fight this monster as well, because he has the magic two-handed sword of his father. So more or less, we're aiding Gold Moon because, well, Sturm is the first one who meets Gold Moon, and his chivalric nature forces him to join her in his join her in her quest to go to Zaxaroth and find out the nature of the blue crystal staff. And then everyone else is just good-natured heroes, so they follow along as well. Of course, they also get cornered in Solus and have to make an escape, so they're kind of on the run as well, forcing them into the adventure somewhat. Kind of railroading them into it all. But yeah, the quest is for Gold Moon and Riverwind to go and find the nature of the blue crystal staff. They've been exiled from their clan, so they have nowhere else to go. So they take up the quest, basically. Everybody else just joins along. Raceland has his own agenda. Raceland, not a particularly good person. He doesn't want to help them out of good nature. He does it because there's an ancient book of knowledge in Zaxaroth that only he knows about. He keeps it hidden from everybody until they're well into the dungeon, and then Caramon, suspicious of his brother, asks, "Hey, what's up? What are we doing? What's the plan here? I can tell you got something brewing." And he tells Caramon to shut up because he doesn't like his brother very much. Even though Caramon loves Raceland. Raceland resents Caramon because of his strength and his good nature. And the fact that he's always there for Raceland. Raceland doesn't want the help, he wants power. That's the main reason he becomes a wizard. Is because he sees an opportunity for him to be strong and excel, regardless of his frail body. Come on. However, his quest for power makes him take the magic test, what's called the test, before he should. The test is how, I can't remember how it all works out, but the test is how mages get their power or something. So he goes to this like magic tower, and And before his studies, he's basically still an apprentice. Before his studies are complete, he already takes the test, and he passes, I believe, but it takes such a toll on his body, it changes his skin color green or something like that, green or gold, and his eyes turn gold, and then he gets like goat irises. He gets those like hourglass irises. It allows him to see decay all around him, which further kind of affects his already bitter disposition. So certainly he's powerful, but the test just completely destroyed his body. He's racked with ragged coughs and can barely walk. Which makes him rely on Caramon a lot, and makes him resent Caramon even more. As I said earlier at the beginning of the stream, Caramon I actually find the most compelling character out of the stories. I've only ever read the first trilogy of Dragonlance. There's over 20 novels. I don't think that I'll actually read more than just the original trilogy, but I do know kind of what happens in the second trilogy, and the second trilogy actually sounds pretty good because it does pick up directly after the first and deals with all the same characters. But yeah, as I said, Caramon's a loving brother, a strong warrior, and a fierce fighter. But after the events of the original trilogy, Raceland turns... These are full-on spoilers, so if you don't want to know the story of Dragonlance, then I guess mute the stream. But Raceland, his quest for power kind of turns him dark, and or he was already that way to begin with, and he ends up abandoning the companions and the quest. The quest he was never really on to begin with, because the whole reason he was following everybody was because he knew they were going to be going to places where there was artifacts that could make him more powerful. So he ends up leaving the group behind, and then he comes back at the end of the third novel, the last book in the first trilogy, and he comes back right at the end where Caramon is at his most desperate, and the situation is looking very, very bad. The Dark God is about to be released, and Raceland comes back, kind of to gloat a little bit. Basically to say that he doesn't really care if the Dark God comes back or not, because he's more powerful. He's powerful enough to deal with whatever comes his way, and he's going to, forge his own path, rule the world if he wants, do whatever. And he appears to Caramon, only to Caramon, and he tells him all of this. And Caramon says, "Take me with you. I'll go with you." This is a lawful good character. And he's like, "Take me with you. I want to go with you. You're my brother. I'll go into the darkness. I'll be evil." We haven't used Riverwind's bow yet. Maybe we can use his bow to shoot at these guys here. Yeah, quiver. That's how the instruction manual is saying you use it. You use the quiver. Ha ha! Good animation. Boop, 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 boop. So Caramon says, "Take me with you. I'll be evil. You're my brother. I love you. Let's do this." And Raceland, for the first time, is surprised and somewhat touched by the words of his brother. But then, as quickly as it came, it goes, and he says, "No, you're not coming with me because I don't need you. I don't need you anymore. I'm strong now. I have power, and I don't need your ass. You're weak. I've got no brother. You're not my brother. I forsake you," basically. And And I think he does help Caramon out of a really bad situation right there. I think there's some guards coming in on him or something like that, and he saves Caramon. Just kind of like, you know, this is because you helped me out all those years. So I'll help you out this one time, but that's it. This one time will make up for the lifetime of aid that you've given me. And then he disappears, and it completely destroys Caramon. It completely destroys him. So after the adventures, he goes back to Solus, and Solus is destroyed because of the wars, and he helps rebuild. So for a time, it's really good. He marries Tika, and for a time, it's great because he's really needed in the town. They really need his strength to help rebuild the place. But then the town gets rebuilt, and people rely on him less and less as life goes back to normal, as it tends to do after great tragedies. Time heals wounds, and he ends up just completely caving in on himself. Becomes a huge drunk, gains all this weight, becomes this big fat bastard. So the brick shithouse barbarian warrior, just this massive, strong warrior, he just completely, loses himself, gets all fat, becomes a blubbering drunk. Tika's ashamed of him, and years go by, and it's actually Tasselhoff, the Kender, that comes along and says, "Hey, you big fat oaf, we've got a job to do. There's another adventure to go on." And he's like, I don't want to go on an adventure. And Tika kicks him out of the house and says, "Hey, you're no husband to me. You're not even a friend to me unless you go out there and you get your fucking shit together." So he heads back out on adventure, and ends up getting into some gladiatorial arena where he has this awesome Rocky IV training montage, and ends up becoming this badass, unbeaten warrior, and the gladiator gets all of his strength back and his muscles and everything. And then I think he confronts his brother again, and that's basically how the second trilogy goes. It's basically about Caramon kind of chasing his brother down and trying to save him from the dark side. What's this? Oh, evil fire traps. But that's why I find Caramon to be the most compelling character out of the bunches, because that's actually like real. That's real. That's real shit. That's good character building. It's not just some surface value fantasy schlock, which I think Dragonlance sort of gets waved off like that a lot, as sort of something that you read when you're a teenager and stuff like that. And I wouldn't dispute that at all. I mean, it's not really written by authors. It's written by gamers. But gamers that become authors through the process of writing those books. But Caramon, it's different. Caramon has a lot of humanity in him. Caramon's story and his whole arc and everything like that is good stuff. Plus, he's the gigantic warrior, and I'm always partial to that. Okay. Go, 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 go! More traps. Endless traps. Go, Flint. Keep an eye on that health. Ah! No. Flint's dead. Okay, that's fine. Let's just get off of that spot with the fire, and we will raise the dead. Bring Flint back to life. Our first raise dead spell. And I will cure these wounds. Oh, I can't back out. Now that I've selected cure critical wounds, I can't back out. Who could benefit from critical wounds the most? I guess Maybe Caramon? Though we're kind of using Caramon less now that we're dealing with more magical enemies. Cure light wounds doesn't do very much. Oh, very, very little there on Sturm. Maybe I should have given him the cure critical. It's fine. So we'll restore there, or save, I should say. Don't want to restore. And we go to Flint, and I just want to make sure that he still has his items. I don't think he does, so we need to repick these up. Green potion, gem, gold chalice, and a ring. Maybe we can equip the rings. Rings. Rings are often magical in Dungeons and Dragons. Rings of protection and rings of speed and things like that. Maybe I should try to equip this ring on somebody. Maybe that'll do something. That might have been in the instructions. I don't know. I guess I should have given the rules a little bit more of a read instead of reading out those verbose biographies of all the characters. Though that was great. Give ring to Gold Moon. We want to keep Gold Moon strong. She's you feel more confident wearing the ring. Good. Confidence is a good thing. We'll give her the ring. It's gone, so it's on her, I guess. Hopefully that wasn't like a limited. It's a limited bout of confidence. Let me reorganize my party here a little bit. Want Caramon and Sturm in the front. Whoops. Tanis the leader, easy access on the second level there. Like that. And Riverwind can be beside his wife, Gold Moon there. All right. Back to adventure. A big arc of Dragonlance or just the small story within? Are you speaking of the game itself, no rep? Or the whole storyline I was just going off about? The game is a how would you say, like loosely based off of the events of the first half, the events of the first half of the first book of the first trilogy. So this game details the events, or even just really one event, them adventuring through the dungeon of Zaxxaroth, which happens in the first book of the first trilogy of Dragonlance. The book being Dragons of Autumn Twilight. By Margaret Wise and Tracy Hickman. Tracy Hickman, becoming a pretty well-known author. He's been involved in several video games as well. He actually was hired to write the story for Shroud of the Avatar, the Richard Garriott's last game, which didn't do very well from my understanding. Everybody I've talked to that's played Shroud of the Avatar says it's just horrible. I played it a little bit on pre-release, and it was confusing to me as to what game it was supposed to be, what kind of game it was actually supposed to be. It definitely wasn't an Ultima game, or like a single-player RPG or anything like that of any sort. What little I know of it, it seems like it has more to do with real estate management than anything else. We'll go this way. Check the end of the corridor. Okay, we have a door there. Yeah, my story would have been the first 6 books. And then after that, it starts to go into, you know, a lot of other stuff. This is not an ideal situation here. Go sleep, duck. Hang in there, Caramon. Hopefully we get another healing waterfall. That would be nice. Yeah, the first 6 books of Dragonlance is what I was talking about, and it kind of goes off into a questionable territory after that. They do the whole classic cliche, like the new how do you say, like the new era, the new blood. They do that kind of classic cliche thing where it's like, okay, let's switch it and make it all about the children of the original heroes, which interests me not at all. Game has world navigation like Tirnanog. Yes, yeah, the map rotates. It does. The compass is very strange, but it's a very straightforward dungeon so far, so... Oh, look at this. That looks like a job for Raceland. Oh! We'll avoid that magic casting draconian for now. There was something else I wanted to check out down this way, right? Tirnanog. Tirnanog. I'm not familiar with the game, if that's a game you're referencing, but I do know the name, Tirnanog. That's like ancient Celtic legend stuff. Tirnanog, the land of the fairies, or something like that. ZX adventure game, man. That's another system that I've gotten some love for sure. The ZX Spectrum's pretty awesome. When I played Slanya on it, Slanya is an amazing game that I'll probably never play again. Slanya's a harrowing experience, but a very, very fantastic game. When I played that, I looked more into the ZX Spectrum, and it seems like they've got some real bangers on the ZX Spectrum, some real ultimate games, and it's actually got really good artwork, and a lot of the games use the color palette very well. Oh, what the fuck? No! Oh, it's the army of gully dwarves. Get him, Caramon. Oh, back up. We need distance. Hopefully there's no traps in this room. Ah! Dead. All are dead. I have killed all. Yeah, ZX Spectrum, very cool. Only ZX Spectrum game I've... Ugh. Blast. Restoring. Reload. The only ZX Spectrum game I've played so far is Slanya, or Slain, I suppose. Slain, based off of the 2000 AD comic book strip about a Celtic barbarian. Fun stuff, for sure. I think actually the book was always intended to be called Slain. I was reading some Slanya there for a while, and I remember a foreword in one of the books, one of the comics there, one of the compilations that I gathered. There was an explanation there talking from its creator, talking about the name. And I believe it was after the fact that he found out the proper Celtic pronunciation of it, of the name, is Slanya, not Slain. And then sort of retconned it to be Slanya. But originally I do believe it was supposed to be Slain, was the proper pronunciation. It's a pretty damn fun story. Just this mighty, powerful barbarian of the highest degree, absolute ultimate warrior, and his dwarf companion. Almost more slave, really, than companion, but Uko. Yeah, I think key points in this game seem to be represented pretty well in the overall Dragonlance world. Definitely the characters are represented well. The Draconians, and then they simulate how some explode and some turn to stone. I mean, obviously, this is an action game. They're not really detailing the story here at all, but the story is in the action in this game as well, to a certain degree. We are on the quest to go get the Discs of Mishakal. Surely we will have to fight a dragon at some point. It was right there in the instruction manual. And having read the book, I do believe I know what we're going to have to do once we come across that dragon. Scroll for Raceland. I wonder if we can use the scrolls. Slanya, yeah, Slanya's fairly short. It has to be, in fact, because there's a time limit, a hidden time limit in Slanya that you must abide by. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, because I played it last year, so it's been a little bit. It's got a hidden time limit that I think it's based off of how many screens you enter and leave. So if you're like wandering around aimlessly and you don't know where the hell you're going, you're gonna lose. And I believe my playthrough here on stream, actually, even I lost. I lost right at the very end, like the last blow, defeating the last enemy. It timed out on me, which was tragic. But with the power of save stating, I did get the ending. I feel like I legitimately beat the game. I know I don't want to use save states, me personally. Nothing against them, but I just really don't want to use them. I actually have a bunch of barbarian games I'm going to get revenge on here pretty soon because I beat them with save states last year. But Slanya I truly beat. It was just absolute bullshit that I got timed out at the end. Even further proved by that save state, because I went back and then did end up beating it. It was like, you know, a second. But still, I suppose at some point in time, now that I'm saying it, I probably must do another run of Slanya so that I can beat it without having any save states at all. Even a justified one. Very, very difficult game, yeah, with that whole, like, word searching system. It's trippy. The visual representation in it is amazing, though. So is that it? We were just gaining treasure this path? That was quite a long path for treasure. But treasure means score. And I do want to try to beat that high score. Was it 55,000, I think, is what it was? Now, did I come from this way? Jump the gully dwarf. Did I come from over this way? If so, then there is another path going down there. No, that's... Down is where I came from. East, according to the compass. East is where I came from. South was items, I assume. I assume. I mean, I just did it. I kind of wasn't really paying attention as I was rambling on about Slanya and how awesome the ZX Spectrum is. I actually have a copy of Slanya coming in the mail. That reminds me. I purchased a copy of Slanya. I don't have a ZX Spectrum. I probably never will, but it'll be good to go into the Barbarian collection. I used to collect a lot of video games, but no longer. I've been priced out and could care less. But I always try to pick up a Barbarian game when I can find it. I'm on the hunt for a copy of Domen as well, but Domen is extremely elusive. I was talking to all of our good friend Macaw 45, and about acquiring a copy of Domen, and he was mentioning to me that he has yet to grab one as well because they just don't pop up all that often. He told me about, I think it's called like Allegro or something, which is it's like Polish eBay. And a few went up for sale in 2019, and none have been seen since on there. So just keep an eye out. I check on there and then eBay every now and then. I did find a copy of Franco. I found a copy of Franco. There's a copy of Franco sitting on eBay right now for like $1,200. Oh my god. This shit's so stupid. That Franco cover art's so good, though. It would look good on the shelf. All right. So we've gotten back to this spot, which I assume we do this. I'm going to equip magic missiles. just in case we get attacked by some creature while we're hopping over these platforms. Yeah, cassette. Slania's a cassette game, yeah. I think it was actually supposed to come with another cassette of some other game called Samurai. Like it was like a double pack or something. The one that I have only, the one that I purchased only has Slania in it, but which is unfortunate if the whole package was supposed to have an extra game. But you know, what can you do? I thought it came with a map as well, but actually the map for Slania is whoa! Down another floor. Oh, we're in the sewers. We've reached the sewers. Take the gem. All right. Both up and down lead to the same area here. Yeah, I thought Slania was supposed to have a map. But it turns out that the map for Slania actually came from a European video game magazine. So I'm kind of tempted to track down the issue that comes from. But at the same time, there's good scans of it on the internet, so I could just print it out if I really wanted it. Don't necessarily want to get into magazine collecting. Yes, and the Slania map in particular, I think it's drawn by the artist that was doing the comic at the time. So it's very artistic. It's a very artistic map. It's not really a map that you use to follow the game at all. It's just a pretty looking map. Very pretty. Shit, that's actually a pretty good idea, no rep. Yeah, make a book that compiles all fantasy game maps. Fantasy game atlas. Okay, all right. I think we're getting into an actual maze here. Which makes sense because it's a bloody sewer. Gulf Stream all over again. Got a door there. What's down this way? Sphintus Coyote, what's happening, man? Welcome. Yes, Dragonlance. Perhaps we'll lance a dragon at the end of this adventure. Good to see us, Sphintus. Oh, is this different? Or is it the same? Okay, dead end. Then we go south. And dead end. The same. All right. I like the walk animations. Look at this. It's kind of a confident, almost carefree sort of walk. Put this troll to sleep. Oh! It's a rare day. A rare day Raceland's magic fails. Don't fight dragons before coffee. Cannot carry any more items. Well, kind of tempted to slug back some of these potions. Oh, I just thought, I wonder if, because I used that ring on Gold Moon, I wonder if it took some of my score. I wonder because I used the ring, it won't be there at the end and they won't tally that ring for score. We need all the score we can get. We need to give some of this stuff away. The relentless saving. Well, you need to save a lot when you're doing dungeon crawlers. Or else you're just asking for trouble. Normally I'm very forgetful with... Whoa! Svintas Coyote, thank you very much for the 4-month sub. He attacks. Mongo. Mongo attacks. I don't have a copy of that game yet. Oh yeah, can't carry any more items. Don't have a copy of Barbarian on the PS2 just yet. That one is very cheap, so it's such a bad thing though. Like if you're interested in grabbing a game, grab it. Because let me tell you, I'm sure we've all encountered this, but that game that's dirt cheap, it may not last long. I just haven't come across a very good quality copy of Barbarian anytime I have found it out there in the wild. It's always had scuffed corners or a stained manual or a horrible disc, something like that. So I've kind of been putting it off, but it's still very cheap, so. But, yeah, one game that's really frustrated me with that recently is Battle Blaze on the Super Nintendo. Battle Blaze is one of the very few Barbarian games on the Super Nintendo. And I have a cart copy. I've had a cart copy of it for ages. Oh. That's no good. I don't think that web hit either, so I'm going to have to back the dragon into a corner. Battle Blaze, I've had a cart for... Whoop! Did we get him? No, we didn't. Oh, shit. What am I doing? Back up, Riverwind. Okay, okay. You find that sweet spot behind the leg. And dead. Evil. I've had a cart of Battle Blaze for forever. I really enjoyed that game. Not so much necessarily in the gameplay. The artwork is okay in it, but it's got a lot of lore for a simple fighting game. It's a pre-Street Fighter fighting game, which makes it kind of interesting as well. Pre-Street Fighter 2. And it's got a really good soundtrack, actually. That's the most appealing thing to me for Battle Blaze. But yeah, I've had a cart copy of it for forever, and carts are still like they're $10. But I'd figure this one out. Carts for Battle Blaze are $10. Boxed complete copy for Battle Blaze is $100 now. And I was looking at a boxed copy of it not a year or two ago, and they were like 30, and they just spiked. They spiked recently. Why does that happen? Who knows? Somebody made a fucking YouTube video about it, ruined it for me. Yes, well, it's a nice barbarian game. But it's really nothing at all like Weapon Lord. Weapon Lord's amazing as far as a fighting game goes. It's very much its own thing. Battle Blaze is broken. It doesn't work very well as a game itself. You can just kind of like command grab dudes over and over and over again and win. But oddly enough, there's like a tournament mode or something. And I think it's the lore for the tournament, I think, precurses the story mode for the game. So it's kind of fun to do tournament first and then story mode. But I always find that the tournament is actually kind of difficult, especially when you fight your clone. When you fight the other barbarian, he's kind of a nasty opponent. The grab cycle doesn't work as well on him. But yes, Weapon Lord is a very sophisticated, in-depth game that's fucking impossible to play. I've had a copy of Weapon Lord for a long time, and only recently I've been really trying to plug away and learn that game. And I've beaten it on the first 2 difficulties. I beat it handedly on the Adventurer difficulty, and then I think the second difficulty is Warrior. I beat that with some cheesing the game a little bit and kind of having some lucky bouts. But beating the game on the default Barbarian difficulty is impossible. Impossible. And the crazy thing about that game is the highest difficulty, Warlord, which comes right after Barbarian, that's the only one you actually get endings on, is Warlord. All the other difficulties, when you beat the game, it's just like, oh, good, you did it, but try again. You know, try again at a higher difficulty. You only actually get the story endings on Warlord. And I'm losing my mind trying to figure out how to play that game and beat it on Warlord. Boo Blacking, what's happening? It definitely isn't money laundering, yeah. Yeah, 1/5 of the mechanics. No, exactly. There's like weapon clashes, parries, there's fatalities, there's combos, there's moves, there's, goes on and on. And I think that's really the secret to being able to beat that game, and to play it well, is you need to learn the combos. You need to learn how to do combos properly. But I enjoy a good fighting game here and there. I'm not particularly good at them, and but I do enjoy them, and I can get by. But Weapon Lord, you have to learn the combos to be able to play the game well. I feel like that's my current mindset on it, is I'm like, okay, I need to learn these combos. But I've never learned combos in any fighting game, so for me it just seems like a massive hurdle. For somebody else who plays a lot of fighting games and are used to that kind of thing, learning combos and pulling them off and the timing and everything like that, it might be less challenging. But I sit down with that game for like an hour a day, and I don't feel like I'm very much better than when I started out. Devs said they wanted a bigger manual and got told no. There's a lot of really interesting things about Weapon Lord as well. Like, one of the reasons why it runs so slow is the fact that it was made for internet connectivity. There was something that you could hook up to the Super Nintendo, and it would allow you to play games across the internet. Okay, Okay, I'm saving way too much here. It's because I'm talking, so I'm kind of getting distracted, and then I just keep putting the saves down so I don't wander into some trouble. But yeah, the game runs very slow. It's very laggy, and that's because it was made with old school internet connectivity in mind. So the lag in the game kind of compensates for the lag that you would experience doing online play, and that's why it moves so slow. And it seems like I've never played the Genesis version, but it seems like there's differing schools of thought as to which version is better, the Super Nintendo or the Genesis version, because the Genesis version has, I think it has a few extra frames of character animation in the movements, and it makes the game run a little smoother. But the Super Nintendo version has superior graphics and more animated backgrounds, so they're both probably excellent. I feel like it's just a matter of take your pick, basically. For me, it's the Super Nintendo one, because the Genesis version just puts a big black bar at the top of the screen. Genesis runs at like a different resolution, so they put a big black bar at the top of the screen to, instead of scaling the image properly, they just put a big black bar at the top of the screen. And it was developed on the Super Nintendo as well, so that's always something that I look at. What system was a game made for? That's probably the better version to play, right? Yes, definitely a bit of a maze down here in the sewers. Oh, we didn't go this way, did we? Bit of a maze down here in the sewers compared to the rest of the game, but the rest of the dungeon. But my impeccable sense of direction is still going strong here. I know where I am. I know where I've been. There's nothing behind us. It's only forward now. It looks like we have many alternate routes here. Many, many alternate routes. Might be time to get out a piece of paper. Yeah, well, exactly, bootblacking. Like, that's one of the great things about Street Fighter, right? Is it's just it's very streamlined. It just works. Ooh, wand. You don't have to. You don't have to screw around too much to win. And the combos sort of come in a lot more naturally. If you just jump in with a low kick, you could go like low kick, medium kick, light punch, medium punch, Hadouken, and you probably got a combo there. But Weapon Lord is like very specific. It's like, no, you have to do it this way. These are the only moves that go into each other. You have to be precise. Very rewarding game, though, when you do it right. Oh, what? Caramon. Let me actually... I'm going to reload it because we did just save just before we walked into here. But let me look down. Let me explore a little bit here. We've got all those different pathways, so we can use this as a recon opportunity. Arrows. Not really needed, but should add to our score. All right, dead end there. And up here. Nothing over that way. Ah, potion. So we do want to go down this path. If only for the items. And this was the last tunnel in the row of tunnels. Wonder if it's going to loop around or if we have to just go through all of this. Middle one's a dead end. Oh, another slide. Oh, shit! Oh, I think we just found our black dragon. You failed in your quest. Well, that was only like 1,300 points. What the hell do you got to do to beat that 55,000, I wonder? Restore. Okay. So, that ends up taking us towards the Lord of Zaxxaroth. So let's check some of these other pathways here. Get us some more treasure. Plays Tanis a bit. I've barely used Tanis. He is the leader of the group, after all. As much as he whines about it in the novels. I'm sick of everybody relying on me. Wah. Good. Good. This is what I like. Short pathways with lots of treasure. And that takes us back to where we were. And Tanis can fight these ghosts because he's got a magical sword. Tanis actually gets a pretty sweet dragon slaying sword, Worm Slayer, in the back half of the first book. We won't be seeing that in this game, but maybe we'll be seeing that in Dragons of Flame I mean, I'm going to play Dragons of Flame. I shouldn't say if, you know. Ugh! This troll is messing him up. Caramon and Sturm can take care of trolls, no problem, but... Trolls are too mighty for Tanis. And his wayfish elven body. Is that where we want to go? Right, let's grab these. Yeah. Dominated by the evil dragon mommy. That is what he wants. Battle! It's pretty cool how they sheath their weapon if you do the attack command and the enemy's not ranged. So your sword's sheathed as they come into distance, and then you strike. Kind of like a samurai. Fucking hitbox in this game, man. Oh, come on. There we go. Take the coins and move on. Caramon just likes to throw his spear. Can't carry any more items. Everybody's inventory is getting quite full. That's a good sign. Oh. Don't want to restore. We want to save. Yeah, it's a good sign. It means that Hopefully we should get a pretty good score here. So the middle one was false. And the far one was what took us to the dragon, I think, right? Let me just check the edge of that area. Nothing. So we'll check this one. Nothing. Yeah, this was nothing as well, right? Correct. Oh, here we go. This is it. Save it once more. All the fighters in the front line. Attack! Go, Riverwind! Oh, man. Very good. Good dragon. Oh my god! Kisanth, the dark, black dragon of Zaxaroth. How do you defeat him? What do we do? There's no way all of our weapons were useless. I know what to do. I think I know what to do. So the deal is, in the book, they get to Zaxaroth. They find a statue of the goddess Mishakal, and Mishakal speaks to Goldmoon, just to Goldmoon, only to Goldmoon. Goldmoon has the blue crystal staff. And she says, yo, you're the chosen one, and you must go down into Zaxaroth, and you've got to defeat this dragon. And when you get to the dragon, show him the staff, and, you know, all will be right with the world. And they don't really know what that means. They can't make heads or tails out of it at the time. And then they go through the dungeon. They come across the black dragon. And I seem to remember Caramon and Sturm sort of being like, oh, Jesus, how the hell are we going to fight this thing? There's no way we can fight this thing. It's a dragon. In game context, in D&D game context, I think all these guys are like level 3 or level 4 when they go into this dungeon, which is far below the level that you need to defeat a dragon, surely. So they stand no chance up against this ancient black dragon. So they get there, and the dragon's roasting everybody, and I think the dragon actually kills Riverwind. I think it burns Riverwind to death, and Goldmoon has to resurrect him with the staff of Mishakal, and then with the staff being shown, then the goddess comes and herself and uses her power to defeat the dragon. So that is our That's our tactic here going forward. Hopeless stream. What's happening? Game brings back memories. I've had a ton of fun with it. This game's been a blast. Actually, it's been really enjoyable. A good dungeon crawl as well because it's been pretty straightforward the whole way. I mean, I don't mind mapping dungeons. I like mapping dungeons, but it's nice to have an action-oriented dungeon crawl where you're just sort of moving through the place and progressing, getting progression, just feeling that progression always, and the glory of combat and all the treasure we find along the way. So it's been a very, very fun game. I don't really know what people are talking about when they say this game sucks or that it's jank. I guess it's jank, kind of. I don't know. Like, it actually operates really well within the rules of the game itself. Like, probably the jankiest thing is the gully dwarves. It seemed like some characters just weren't able to hit the gully dwarves at all. But between Caramon and Flint, we had the gully dwarves pretty well sussed. Yeah, really don't know why this game has a bad reputation. It seems awesome. Most of the bad stuff I've heard about it is referencing the NES version of the game, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the NES version sucks, and the computer versions are good. Or maybe it's only the Amiga version that's good. Meager jank, yeah. Maybe that's why it works, is because it's on the Amiga, and the Amiga just rules, and it's used to janky nonsense. So we'll heal up Gold Moon, and we got some spells to protect us. What does Final Strike do? I haven't used some of these at all. Burning Hands? I didn't use Burning Hands at all. Actually, now that I think about it, I seem to remember Raceland really liking Burning Hands a lot and using Burning Hands a ton throughout the story. Maybe I should have been using Burning Hands. Oh, look at the fire! Burning Hands! Let's get Raceland in there. Burning Hands, Burning Hands. Raw. I like how you can, like, yeah, you can fire the magic out directionally. Go in here and use Final Strike on the dragon. What does Final Strike do? I mean, the dragon's not even close, but we're not going to be able to get close without dying, so... Final Strike! I said Final Strike. Oh, because he's the party leader there. I would have actually had to attack. So we go Final Strike. Raceland must be party leader to use this spell. Fair enough. Fair enough. He's going to die, though. Oh, yeah. We're not going to get a chance to use our Final Strike. Oh, Dragon's Lair. Save and resume game is now disabled. Interesting. Okay. All right. Can I get out before everybody dies? Save ourselves from seeing that game over screen? Nope. Look at all the treasure on the ground, though. A true dragon horde. Game would have been better if they managed to cut down the amount of time that you spend in menus. That's probably true. There is a lot of flipping back and forth between the menus. But we're at the end of the game, and it's only been a few hours. So I couldn't necessarily call this game long. Not even a few hours. We've been playing for 2.5 hours. Foamed wants his 20-minute dungeon crawl. All right, Final Strike. We're going to use Final Strike on this enemy. It's a full grown black dragon, full grown black dragon, Nico Magi. Fucking thing's gonna roast anybody. Okay, in we go. Magic final final. I give up trying to use this spell on the dragon. I hovered by mistake. I jumped. That was my bad. Jumped right into the fire breath. Actually, that fire breath comes in really, really quick. Is there something I can do about that? Like, I might not be able to use the staff on him before Goldmoon gets roasted. I seem to remember there being a protection from evil spell or something like that in the clerical spells. Voidlock, what's happening? Spit in the dragon's mouth and call it scum. That'll take care. Well, it's a black dragon. Maybe they're into that. Black dragons are particularly evil, I think. Or is it the red dragons that are supposed to be the most, like, nefarious? I'm not up on my dragon lore. Duke, what's happening? Duke Donuts. The Duke. What's going on, Duke? We're playing Heroes of the Lance on the Amiga. The superior version of Heroes of the Lance. Everybody's calling this game janky. I don't agree. I don't believe it. But if you're going to play a janky game, play it on the Amiga. Home of the jank. Land of the free, home of the jank. What do we got here? We got protection from evil and prayer? Maybe spiritual hammer. I didn't do spiritual hammer. Spiritual hammer. What does that do? Let's look at spiritual hammer. Well, that's a little disappointing. What? What the hell? What else do we got here? I haven't deflect dragon breath. That's what we need. I should have been using that on the baby dragons as well that we came across. Oh yes. Typical Solid Snack underutilizing the magic and just counting on Cold Steel to do the job. Got prayer. Prayer doesn't seem to do anything. Maybe that's what I got to do to kill the dragon. Hold person. I hear the I hear the Dungeons and Dragons Capcom game in my head when I read that. Hold person. Sticks to snakes. Where's sticks to snakes? That's my favorite spell. In Deathstalker, in the first Deathstalker movie, there's this like old bog witch that like helps Deathstalker out, and holy shit. Yo! What is going on? What's up, Pod Gang? What's happening? Rig! For 8-Bit Gamer, thank you very much for the follow. Rig, what's happening, man? We don't cross paths like this often, me and you. More Moxie. Girly Satan, thank you very much for the follow. Beardman Pro, I'm ahead of it because I'm looking at my activity feed. Adrian Bauer, thank you very much for the follow. Everybody, welcome. Come in. Come on. Warm yourself by the fire. Welcome, travelers. We're about to kill a dragon. Girly Satan. I probably already said that one. Thank you. We fighting dragons. Yo, Gonzo Wookie, what's happening, man? Nuclear Landlord, what's going on? Taco Loco, what's happening? Is this the Amiga version? Is the Amiga version the one to play? Yes, the Amiga version is the ultimate version because it's on the Amiga. You were playing Energy Breaker and it reminded you of Fire Emblem. Yeah, Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem. What a stream that was. Fire Emblem. Actually, I really liked Fire Emblem, the first Fire Emblem game on the NES. That was a good game. But the
That's it. Take a good look, you lump of hotness. I'm looking. Yeah? Then suppose you tell me what you're doing with my face.
What are you doing with my face, Sly Fox? Thank you very much for the 1-bit. Yes, I have 1-bit alerts. Luindago, thank you very much for the follow. Sem Albar, thank you very much. Pork Chops, thanks for the follow. Jillax, thank you very much for the follow. May Benot, thank you very much. Zanu feeling gay pride, thank you for the follow. Thanks, guys. Welcome. Oh. Heroes and fools are the same thing. It had that player phase, enemy phase style strategy game. Well, you know I love those SRPGs. I really do. They're some of my favorite games. I actually have an SRPG on the docket to play, PC 98, hidden behind that language barrier, but with the help of Ann K, I have broken through that language barrier, and I have an exciting barbarian-themed SRPG to play somewhere down the line. We'll get to it. Adrian Brower, speaking of Deathstalker, love that scree stinger sound from the second. The second movie is hilarious. Somebody was talking to me about Deathstalker 2, and I can't remember if it was on here or if it was like a friend of mine. I have no memory of the concussions I've taken through many battles. That actually might be true. But yes, Deathstalker 2 is... somebody was asking me about Mel Brooks should make a barbarian movie. Well, Mel Brooks never made a barbarian movie, but Mel Brooks' Conan would have been hilarious, though. But Deathstalker 2 is almost like a parody barbarian movie. Deathstalker 1's like legit good. It's one of the better barbarian movies, I would say. But Deathstalker 2 is very goofy. It even ends with a blooper reel during the credits. It's I have so much appreciation for a lot of those old B movies, and particularly like swords and sorcery stuff of the 80s. One of the big things that I really get into with movies and shit is stunts. I love good stunts. And when you got low budget movies, you know they're not high. They don't have a budget for like that many stuntmen. They're going to get their actors to do some shit. And I always like that. I like to see the actors take bumps. And particularly with sword and sorcery stuff, you get a lot of really awesome horse stunts, and horse stunts are really incredible. The training it takes for the horses are amazing actors, for starters. But yeah, the horse stunts are awesome. But yeah, blooper reel at the end of Deathstalker 2, I remember there's one where the lead actor, he grabs a torch, but it's like a real torch. This isn't like a CGI torch or some silly thing. This is a real torch. They just poured a bunch of oil on this stick and lit it on fire. And the guy's got to grab the torch, and he's like, ah, as he's like burning his hand. Good shit. Good shit. Anyways, welcome in, everybody. Like I say, thank you very, very much for the raid rig. As I was saying, we don't often get to cross paths. We're kind of usually on different times. I'm usually streaming much later than this, but this is the first day I've been not feeling sick for a while, so I really wanted to get in. Adventure calls. Anyways, speaking of adventure, we have a dragon to kill. I was musing over these spells that I hadn't used as we've been going through the game. Protection from evil. None of these seem to be doing anything. Deflect dragon breath. There we go. Now we at least get a visual thing. But I still want to. Can we deflect dragon breath on Raceland? I still want to try to use the spell that we haven't seen from him, this final strike. We've seen all the other ones. Web was very useful. I've been using Web. I've used Charm a couple of times. That didn't seem to work on anybody. Sleep, a very useful spell. Haven't really been attacking with Raceland at all, so we haven't needed to use Magic Missile or Burning Hands much. But yes, this final strike one is still a mystery. I want to try to use it on the dragon, and now we have Deflect Dragon Breath. Oh! Final strike. What? 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 It just kills your whole party. What the? Or did we all turn into bricks, or like what? Oh man! All right, cool. You failed in your quest for the discs of Mishkal. Final strike. What the hell is the point of that spell? Oh, I'm in a really hairy situation here, surrounded by enemies. Better use final strike and lose the fucking game. Good times. Good times. All right. Let's kill this dragon. Are we ready to kill a dragon finally? Restore game. The Black Dragon Kisanth, Lord of Zaxaroth. I got to appreciate the fantasy names as well in Dragonlance. Any location that starts with an X or a Z in fantasy, or monsters for that matter, whose names start with X or Z, it's the ultimate. That's the ultimate fantasy naming conventions. Robert E. Howard was always all about that. So Zaxaroth, good name for a dungeon. Where are we at? Let's deflect dragon breath. Maybe I'll try the other spells while I'm in there. Pray and protection from evil and all that. Protection from evil. It only likes you using one spell at a time. So protection from evil, and then we try prayer. This might beat him. Prayer might actually defeat the dragon. We'll see. No. Okay, so for all of you guys coming in, this dragon is unbeatable. Like, we can't actually like fight him in hand-to-hand combat. There's no way you can defeat the dragon. We're like, in the context of D&D and shit, we're like level 3, 4 weak-ass little warriors, and that's a full-grown dragon. There's no way you can defeat it. But in the context of the Dragonlance story, we've basically through this staff that this barbarian woman Goldmoon here carries, through this staff we've kind of brought the holy power of a god down here into the dungeon. So we've got to do something with the staff to kill the dragon. Not wand, that's not the staff. So what do we do? How do we use it? Oh! Can I just do I just lance him with it? Oh! Dragon lanced. Oh my god, this ending is crazy. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the place does cave in on you in the books, and then there's the Discs of Mishakal. But we've lost two... Oh, what's happened? We've been teleported. Kisanth is dead, but you left her treasure. The Disc of Mish... They timed the ending. So you have to kill the monster, and then run to the discs as fast as you can and pick them up, or else the game just ends and trolls you. Oh, man. Okay, and we lost Gold Moon as well, which isn't good. She's our cleric. She's the only one that can revive people. I'm sure we're gonna lose score for having her be dead. This is a score game, so we're trying to chase the high score. That's the whole point of the game. Is you go through. There's no level up or anything like that in this game. Everything that we pick up, all the monsters we defeat, all the party experience, it all goes towards score at the end. And I think the high score is like 55,000 or something like that. So we'll see if we can beat that. Oh, I can actually enter my name here because we did beat the game and hit score. It's not a good score. That's not the official... I'm not going with that, so we'll call him my butt. In honor of a fellow adventurer. Restore game. And... Alright, so we need to go in, we need to lance the dragon, and then run backwards, I guess, and then, or maybe just run forwards, and we'll miss all of the falling boulders, and then we need to rush and get the discs as quickly as possible. Dragon destruction, commence! Throw! Dead dragon. Run, 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 run. Zaxxaroth is collapsing around us. Ah! Alright. We take the discs of Mishkal. Honor and glory have been restored to the conquering heroes. There we go. Oh, no! Ah. 47,000 points. We needed 55,000. How do I get the other points? I mean, you could just farm creatures. The creatures respawn, so you could farm trolls or something. El Zitron, thank you very much for the follow. Congratulations, you have recovered the discs of Mishkal. 47,740. Well, that's game. That's it. Making progress. We didn't just make progress, we just beat it. That's it. The end. Congratulations. You've recovered the discs of Mishkal. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like I thoroughly explored the dungeon. I wonder if there was some items that I missed. Like I said, items will add to our score. So there could have been some items that I missed that would have bumped us up over 55,000. But at this point, I'm thinking that to get over that high score, you just probably need to spend some time in the dungeon farming, which is not very appealing. So I'm not going to do that. And we'll just call it there. Gold Moon hogging all the XP. Yeah, I noticed that. That must have been because she picked up the discs of Mishkal there at the end. I think it looked like Sturm got the most experience for killing things. We killed 16 Baz Draconians, 6 Bozak Draconians, 7 Trolls, 7 Wraiths, 11 Spectral Warriors, 15 Agarlug, 22 Agar. I guess that's the what they're calling gully dwarves. 15 men, 12 spiders, and 4 hatchlings. Party experience points for combat is 21,190. Not too shabby. We actually got pretty close to the high score. I mean, second, best of the worst, right? Put in the classic mad. Mad. I'm mad I didn't get the high score. All right. That's it. Heroes of the Lance. Fantastic game. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I don't know. Maybe we just play the game all over again. Maybe we just do another full run right from the top. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put Tassel off in the front. He finds the traps. There's traps there. And then detect invisible. Gets us the hunting knife. Select hero. Sleep. Oh. Raceland's spell missed. What good are you, Raceland? Oh! Was that trap always there? Infinite spellcasting. We never ran out, but I was being very cautious. See, Sturm just can't hit gully dwarves. There's no way. They're too small, I guess. They get out of the way of his mighty two-handed sword. Flint just tossing his axe away. Caramon, come to his aid. Caramon, the mighty warrior. All right. Great game. Great game. Let's call it there. Not even 3 hours. 2 hours and 48 minutes to beat Heroes of the Lance. For the first time, never played the game before. Yeah, highly recommend that one. Dragons of Flame time. I mean, Dragons of Flame is definitely in the future for sure. I don't think we're gonna do it today though. At least not right now. Yeah, I think I'll call it here. We'll cap it off as kind of a early, quicker stream. I'm still kind of feeling a little ill. I might take a nap actually. The adventure of napping. Good news, there's a sequel. Yeah, Dragons of Flame looks awesome though. Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do for that one. Definitely looking forward to that game. It's definitely a computer game of some sort. Yeah, the Amiga and DOS versions of Dragons of Flame are kind of questionable looking, but you've never even gotten past the first area. Well, I think I'll be playing the PC-98 version of the game, which looks absolutely ultimate. The Amiga version and DOS version still looks really good, but they have this kind of there's a more simpler style to the way the graphics are. Everybody's kind of like small and stuff. And then the PC-98 version of Dragons of Flame, they sort of took the graphics from Heroes of the Lance. PC-98 Dragons of Flame, from my understanding, is like largely rebuilt. It's not even the same game. It's similar, but it's just not even the same game. Yeah, it's not the same mechanically. It's I think it's a lot more like Heroes of the Lance, like way more action oriented. And I believe they actually add in an end boss. I don't think there's an end boss in the Western versions of the game, but they add in an end boss for the PC 98 version, which is just ultimate. That in and of itself makes you want to play that version, let alone the superior graphics and the fact that it has music. There's no music in the, at least in the Amiga version. There's no music, I think. Yeah, more linear, less exploration. Yeah, because it's got a world map, so it's probably easy to get lost in that game. I'm not really quite sure, though. Another one I haven't played through, so it'll be a new experience for all of us. As separate games rather than versions. Yeah, that's probably accurate for sure. All right, guys. Let me find somebody to raid. I'll pass you off to some noble hero. We'll see who's streaming here. Get some good music to walk out to. Who's out there? Who's streaming? Sly Fox, thank you very much for the follow. Probably not thank you for the follow. He might be getting a little close to ending, but Abs Nerdity is on, currently playing Soul Blazer. Abs is awesome. Everybody say hi to Abs. Soul Blazer's a great freaking game. Turbo the dog! Let's go say hi to Abs. Seawolf, thank you very much for the follow. Probably not. Thank you for the follow. Zero Dine, thank you for the last minute one bit. Eco Magi, Rat Clown Car, Duke, Sphinitus, Gonzo Wookie, everybody, take care of yourselves. Battle, adventure, ceaseless enemies, combat never ending, more tales to be told very, very soon. We'll catch you guys then. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you very, very much for the raid, Rig. It's always good to see you, man. Take it easy. I will talk to you very soon. Bye, everybody.